Hello, San Angelo, and welcome to Live Daily News Show. I'm James Bellini.
And I'm Tessa Koskovich.
In news, Irion County's warrant list is back online.
Irion County was forced to cancel schools today.
And up in Abilene, a former educator has been arrested.
I had an interview with Bernie Nelson today, who, you guys, was so cool. We were talking for forever beforehand, and this is for the older crowd. James and Banda don't know what I'm talking about, but he knew, like, Lefty Frizzell and Johnny Cash. Oh, my gosh.
I know who Johnny Cash was. But anyway, Bernie Nelson's going to be at the ArcLight tonight. So we'll get into that interview and the news after this message from Jim Bass.
Find your perfect Nissan at Jim Bass Nissan. With our incredible selection, generous factory rebates, and attractive dealer discounts, you can enjoy affordable monthly payments that fit your budget. Don't miss out on our amazing offers, like the stunning 2025 Nissan Frontier for just $499 per month. You can only find deals this great at Jim Bass Nissan, corner of Houston Hart at Arden Road, or shop 24/7 at jimbassnissan.com.
Hey y'all, it's Tess. I'm here with Bernie Nelson performing tonight at the ArcLight. Bernie, tell us a little bit about yourself, your career.
I started off a long time ago. I moved to Nashville in 1984. We call that PG, like pre-Garth. And I just had a lot of help getting there. I started down in a place called Muscle Shoals, Alabama, with a couple future Hall of Famers. They wrote songs for Earl Thomas Conley and Ray Charles and people like that. And then the two of them would go on and write a song called 2 Dozen Roses for Shenandoah. And a guy named Mac McAnally, who would become Jimmy Buffett's right hand for 40 years and is now out with the Coral Reefer Band doing that whole thing since Jimmy passed. But then I got to Nashville and landed at the right place and learned to be a better songwriter, learned to be a songwriter, and never took to the idea of getting on a bus and making records back then. I just was having a great time writing songs, and I still do, and I still get to write in Nashville as much as possible. But the success came pretty quick, and it's always wonderful when your heroes cut your songs. People like Conway Twitty and Chris Christopherson and people like that, Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. But when your friends become big stuff, it's kind of cool. I was fortunate to be around up-and-comers, Kenny Chesney and Blake Shelton and Garth Brooks, people like that, and watched all these people just, watch them go from doing songwriter nights to becoming, household names and stuff. So it's kind of cool. And now I'm in Texas and having a ball and writing songs for Texas artists and Nashville artists at the same time, and playing my live music wherever I can. So
That is so awesome. What is your most successful song that you've ever written, and then your favorite, if they're different?
Radio would be a thing I wrote for a group called Confederate Railroad called Daddy Never Was the Cadillac Kind.
You wrote that?
Yes. And
a little bit of a hit.
And the Conway Twitty hit I had called House on a Lonesome Road. That was, my dad, he was a truck driver, and of course he was like you, a big 70s country fan, and Buck Owens and Conway were his heroes. So when I got a song recorded by Conway, I think he finally acknowledged that I was doing something right. So
I was proud.
And then Cadillac Kind came along after that, a song about my dad. I'd say my favorite song is a song called When Your Yellow Brick Road Turns Blue. It was recorded by John Anderson, and John put it out to radio. I love John. And it didn't do big. I think it was like a top 40 song or something. And then a friend of mine, Garth Brooks, always loved that song and swore he was going to cut it, but he never did. But he took it out to the studio one day and gave it to our friend Chris Ledoux. So it's on the Western Underground record in the box set with Chris Ledoux. And I love Garth, but having a Chris Ledoux cut's pretty special.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Chris Ledoux is so freaking cool.
Yeah.
Well, tell us a little bit about, any upcoming songs you have, or your upcoming tours. I heard you had a show this weekend.
I'm playing tonight. Right here.
You are playing tonight. Sorry, Joe.
That's right. Yeah.
You are playing tonight.
Here in the great city of San Angelo was my first choice of places to live. I started playing the Concho Pearl and met my San Angelo family at the Cowboy Church out there, and just have a really deep roots here in San Angelo. And I would have more than gladly lived here in San Angelo, but I ended up meeting somebody and settling into Fredericksburg.
It's much prettier out there.
It is pretty, but I love San Angelo. The difference is you got people who were in the oil business that moved to Fredericksburg versus sixth-generation ranchers and oil people here in Texas and in San Angelo. But I've got that show tonight, and then I've got 2 more benefits coming up. I've been doing a lot of benefits. We were just at the Ark a few weeks ago with my buddy Rich O'Toole. I've got a show tonight, and then I'm playing over in Bandera at the 11th Street Cowboy Bar on Saturday night. And then Sunday I'm doing a show in Fredericksburg at the Hangar Hotel with 2 of my buddies, Radney Foster and Daryl Worley, and raising just more money that we can for this flood relief. So,
which is awesome. You mentioned earlier that over like $150 million has been raised.
For the whole thing, yeah. George, of course, kicked in $7 million.
Right.
But people have really stepped up, and you can't buy back some of the stuff that was lost, obviously, but those people that lost houses and everything, it's just a lot. And I'm glad that the resources are there and immediately getting to these people versus all the red tape and everything. I'm glad to see the money coming in for them. But I've been just writing songs, and I've been blessed to have a lot of these young Texas artists cut my songs. A group called Kinfo, I brought them down from Michigan, and I've had 2 number ones with them. A local artist, Case Harden, has been kind enough to take 3 of my songs to number 1 in Texas Regional Radio. My good friend Kyle Park and I wrote a hit for him. 2 upstarts, Bubba Wesley, I just had a number 1 with him, and one getting ready to go number 1. And just a bunch of new artists that are cutting my songs, Matt Castile and Isaac Jacobs, people like that. And then I've got singles going out to radio. I've got my single comes out the 8th of September called Going Down to Cowtown, which I wrote on a drive over here from Fredericksburg. I wrote it in my truck, so crazy.
That's actually really cool.
It is cool. I mean, my truck is, the thing I love about Texas is it's not an easy drive to anywhere. You know? So 4 hours is just around the corner. In 4 hours, I can write a whole album. So
Yeah.
and I get to pitch songs. I have that technology, and I still have the doors open in Nashville and here in Texas, and I'll run across a song and send it to whoever, you know, and hopefully they'll find their way to radio. So.
Well, before we started the interview, you were talking about, just where your career has been and all the people you've met. Is there one story in particular of you writing a song for somebody that just...
You know, one of the craziest ones, there's a group called the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, and I was always a fan of theirs growing up. And they had a big hit back in the 70s with a Jerry Jeff Walker song called Mr. Bojangles. And I was watching the video one day of them, and they were actually in a movie called Paint Your Wagon with Lee Marvin and Clint Eastwood back in the day. They were the band in the movie. And they had all this footage of the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band from then forward, and they had announced that they were going to retire. They were going to quit touring, and that the band was breaking up. And I was trying to figure out what it was that kept them together all those years, because they'd won every award, won Grammys, won Band of the Year, and had made a bunch of money. So why would they still want to keep playing music? And I thought, they've always had this dream of playing music, and they get to live their dream every day. So I called the drummer up, Jimmy Fadden, and we wrote a song called The Dream about a cowboy who was past his prime but still got to ride his horse, a baseball player that had been sent down to the minors but still got to play baseball. And the last verse was about the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band and how they don't want to grow up and they just want to keep playing music, and they get to live their dream every day. So they recorded it, and they were in Alberta, Canada, doing a bunch of shows. And one night for their third encore, they decided to play this song a cappella, just step out with guitars and mandos and a harmonica and squeeze box. And it went over so well, they started closing their shows with it. So I got a call that they were going to perform it on what was called Nashville Now back then, the TV show, and they wanted me to come out to the show. So I went out there, and a guy named Rodney Crowell, one of my heroes, a great songwriter, was hosting the show. And they announced that night from the couch that they had decided not to break up after all. And when Rodney asked him what made you decide not to break up, they said, well, Bernie and Jimmy wrote this song, and we started playing it, and it reminded us of where we started and why we got into this in the first place. And they invited me out to give me a thank you out in front of everybody, brought me out from behind the curtain. And the idea that you write this song thinking, what if I could write this song that would make them want to stay together? And then one of my heroes, the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, cuts this song and ends up, this is their last year now. It was 20 years ago that they were going to quit. So for 20 years they've continued to play and create great music. And they're actually in the book with that song, Fishing in the Dark. But that's a pretty cool thing. And then to have my heroes, Chris Christopherson and Willie Nelson, record my songs, Conway Twitty. I've got my bucket list. I'm really whittled down to just one artist now, and that'd be George Strait. But either they passed away or they did cut my songs. So I've just been really blessed that my songs have found a home. I look back at that, and I'm just overwhelmed at the fact that people like that and people continue to want to record my songs. It's pretty cool. So
It's so cool.
it has some coolness to it.
Yeah, you're definitely you're that guy, Bernie.
Oh, thank you.
Let's go ahead and get into your book, Honky Tonk Angels. Let's talk about that a little bit. Get it on Amazon or tonight at the ArcLight.
Isn't that beautiful? So
It is.
this girl was a bartender model, and it turns out she's from Finland, and she was heavily tattooed. But I had this shirt, and I bought that shirt in 1977, and for some reason I kept it in my closet because Lord knows it doesn't fit me anymore. And it worked out for the cover for that shot. So Honky Tonk Angels is 36 years of me being in Nashville and hearing these incredible stories about how this song got written and how it got to Garth Brooks, how it got to John Anderson, how it got to whoever, Johnny Cash and Merle Haggard and Kenny Rogers. And so it just kind of stuck in my head. And then I met somebody and he asked me if I'd had a book on those sort of things, and he said, I'll give you a book deal if you write it. So I started writing the book in 2013 and brought the book out in 2014. Songs like The Gambler, Lucille, Delta Dawn, Boy Named Sue, all the way up to The House That Built Me, Eric Pasley's song called I'll Be Your Friday Night. And then the last song, I think, is the last duet that Willie Nelson and Merle Haggard did called Django and Jimmy. And it just talks about how God just made all this stuff happen. And it's undeniable proof that it wasn't by coincidence that all these things happened. So Honky Tonk Angels. And if you want an autograph copy, you just go to BernieNelson.com and I'll ship them out, or you can get them on Amazon and get the non-autographed copy.
Right.
So
Go get the autographed copy.
get the autographed
It's a lot
copy.
cooler.
Yeah.
And then you say, hey, this guy wrote songs for all these incredible people, and I have his autograph.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's kind of cool. So I mentioned my little upbringing in Nashville a little bit, and I'm actually working on a new book, and it's things like the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band and hanging out with Guy Clark and John Prine and Steve Earle back in the day, and the crazy stuff we did, and stuff beyond my musical career. It's what I call checks you don't cash, things that people would pay a lot of money for, and they just happened to me hanging out with Bon Jovi a couple nights in Nashville and finding out that the guitar that I was given from Gibson Guitars was one that he had ordered and had no idea what happened to it, and that it was John's guitar, and just crazy things like that.
That's really funny, actually.
It is. I mean, I do these interviews and people just look at me like I've got three heads, and seriously, I'm like, yeah, that kind of happened, So I've had a really fun life so far.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Well, I mean, I'm sure if you took all my hero songwriter buddies and stuff and asked them the same question, they could tell you the same crazy stories. I mean, everybody that's written songs from Garth to Kenny to whoever, their stories are probably 10 times crazier. So I've just been one of the lucky ones. So.
I don't know. I'm having a good time listening to your stories.
Good.
You know, I had a pretty good time. Are you going to continue to write singles for yourself and go on about your career?
Yeah, I don't know what the next album will be. I'm going to dig into the book over the fall and winter and start working on that. I've got some upcoming shows. I met Mark Powell recently with Outlaws and Legends up in Abilene, and we've been writing a bunch. And he's got an event in Abilene called Storytellers, and he wanted a major songwriter artist. So we went through my list of people, and we got Pam Tillis to join us. So Pam will be with us up there in November, and then Outlaws and Legends in March. We'll be doing something up there in Abilene. But the new record, if I do something, it'll be probably more of an acoustic record, you know, kind of a where I might actually tell the story about the song before the song plays, something like that, a little 3-minute intro about the song or something, just intimate stuff.
Well, you're the kind of guy, too. I think I personally would love to hear the story about the song. You know, you've kept me entertained. I'm not easy to entertain. You've kept me entertained this whole time, so.
Well, I tell people, you know, I'm a songwriter and I'm a guy, so I think it's true, but you never know. I mean, we're known to make up stories. So.
Right. You know, God didn't make honky-tonk angels.
Exactly.
Men did. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Bernie. You guys go make sure you get out to the ArcLight tonight, watch the show, meet Bernie freaking Nelson.
Yeah, and like I said, the book is out there, BernieNelson.com. Say hello to me on Facebook. I'm not that hard to get along with. I think I'm on Instagram. I don't think I'm on TikTok. I need to figure that one out. But, you know, it's my music's out there everywhere. I've got 4 or 5 records we put out. The latest song, Stockyard Cadillac, the nice people at the Stockyards were kind enough to ask me if they could use it for the next 3-4 years for their advertising. So, and I've only been legally in Texas 5 years, but I got here as quick as I could. So,
Welcome to Texas.
thank you, dear.
You are
Thanks
so
for having
welcome.
me.
Of course. Thank you for coming.
What fun.
Awesome.
Into the news this morning, the Irion County Sheriff's Office announced that its public warrant list is back online after maintenance, with 4,062 active warrants currently listed. The database is accessible by going to TomReedCountySheriff.org, clicking More, and then clicking on Warrants. You can also access the warrants on the mobile app.
It allows the public to view photos, charges, bond amounts, and booking information for individuals with outstanding warrants. Officials urge residents not to attempt to apprehend anyone on the list, but tips can be submitted by calling 325-655-8111 or through the online crime tip form on the sheriff's website.
An Irion County ISD canceled school this morning due to a busted water line that raised safety concerns, according to district officials. Students were dismissed at 11:30 a.m., and those that were not picked up by 12:30 p.m. were taken to Methodist Church's Life Center for pickup.
Officials stated that students staying until regular dismissal would still be able to ride the bus per usual. All on-campus extracurricular activities were canceled, though. Off-campus events would continue as planned.
And 56-year-old Robert Jerome Custer was apprehended Friday on a federal charge of accessing child pornography, according to the Texas Department of Public Safety. The arrest was made by the DPS's Criminal Investigations Division in collaboration with Homeland Security Investigations. Authorities stated that Custer had previously worked as a teacher and a counselor in several Texas cities, including Palestine, Barksdale, Kingsville, and Abilene.
Custer was not employed in the capacity at the time of his arrest. Investigators are now seeking information from possible unreported victims who may have encountered Custer during his time as an educator or a camp counselor. The case is still under investigation and no further details have been released.
And we'll be right back with weather after this word from Jay Chandler.
It's hard to believe how reckless some people can be and how hard they fight against real victims. You need a partner who consistently beats the giants and who will never, ever flinch.
Into the weather, some parts of San Angelo today saw some rain while others stayed dry, and you can expect some showers throughout the night. Right now it's 89 degrees outside, and the low tonight drops down to 71.
Tomorrow we have a 30% chance of some showers and the high will be up around 92. The rain chances decrease tomorrow night to around 10% and the low will be 70. On Thursday the high gets up to 93 and there is no rain in the forecast at that point until at least the weekend.
And we'll be right back after this message from Condos, Diamonds, and Coins.
When it comes to unique pieces you can't find anywhere else, Kano's Diamonds and Coins is your one-stop shop. With over 24 years in the diamond and coin industry, Kano's Diamonds and Coins is West Texas's choice for diamonds, jewelry, coins, silver, and gold. Owner Bill Kano stands by his work and offers free consultations, including estate jewelry. Don't just trust anyone with your valuables. Come see the staff at Kano's at 1016 West Beauregard in San Angelo.
Thank you for watching the Live Daily News Show.
The only locally owned news show in the Concho Valley.
Go like us on Facebook, X, and other social media platforms.
And download the San Angelo Live mobile app.
For the live team here, I'm James Bellini,
And I'm Tessa Koskovich.
and we'll see you tomorrow.